Okay, folks, here we go. We're into the prep phase. I already shuffled and drew. Here's what I got. Here's what Jen has. Just bumped the camera. Alright, so one thing I'm going to fix before I forget. Aztec guy on my color here moved up. So I forgot to move his marker up. We're going to move him up. Alright, now to the gameplay. So now, the next 3 days are going to be nice, clear, nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about the weather. All you have to do is worry about the spots we're on. So, what Jen is going to do is... here's what she has. She doesn't have much in acclimatization, but she's got a lot of movement points. So she's going to play at least 3. She wants to move one of her guys back up into that 3+ spot. She might actually play 2 movement points here, and then or 2 cards of movement here, but 3. Trying to get both guys up. She wants to get rid of this, of course, but she knows if she plays 6 points, she's probably going to get a hit on the wrist point. So all she's going to do is she's going to play these 3 points, the 0 point in acclimatization, and this 1 point here in acclimatization, and she'll just bring MC Hammer guy back up to 6 points acclimatization. Alright, so that's what she's going to do. She's going to play. She's going to move MC Hammer guy with the 3, and she'll cancel it out. It would move up to 6, but it'll, at the end of the action phase, it'll get knocked back down because she'll be on the spot with 1 point of penalty. Okay? So that's what she's going to play. I, on the other hand, I'm going to definitely play this 3 points acclimatization. I got to get my Aztec guy back up. He's getting low there. So that's that. And I think what I want to do with my other 2 cards is I want to play 3 points. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a tent here. Okay, he's going to stay where he is. I'm going to build a tent here, and that'll null out this 2 points there. And what I'm going to do the next round is I'm going to move up and hopefully move back down. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. That's what Jen's going to do. We go on to the movement or the action phase. Jen's going to discard a 0. She's going to play this 1 on this guy, move him up. And she's going to play 3 points here on MC Hammer guy. Move him. Oh, no, you know what? She is not going to play that on MC Hammer guy. She's going to move that back down. He's going to gain a point for being attacked. We're going to move Aztec guy up 1, and he's going to move. He's going to play 3 points, and he's going to move back in here. Like I said, he's got the tent left. So he's going to move up here somewhere. Up here, he's going to put another tent down. Okay? Now, she wasn't too worried about... she was more worried about the weather and keeping her acclimatization up. That's why she came back down the mountain and went in here. She thinks I'm going to kill myself. And there's a possibility I will. So, well, let's get to that while we're here. Alright, so I'm going to play these 3 points acclimatization on this guy here. Move him up to 5. These 3 points, I hit the camera again. These 3 points, I'm going to discard them. Oh, shucks. I can't place the tent because Aztec guy has the tent, not NC Hammer Pants. So with the 3 points, I'm just going to move him up. He's going to lose 2 points acclimatization anyway. Might as well get him to the peak. 1, 2, 3. I am the first to the top. So if there's a tie, that means I will win. That'll be the tiebreaker. If he lives. Alright, so we move on to the acclimatization phase, and Jen's guy here would actually gain a point, so he goes up to 6. This guy here will lose a point, so he gets knocked down to 6. My guy, he's good, that cancels it out. He doesn't gain or lose any points. My other guy up top there, he'll lose 2 points, and that'll bring him down to 2. So I gotta work on his acclimatization the next couple rounds. Gotta build him back up, but I gotta get him down, because if he stays there, he's done. But I can do that. I have enough points here. Alright, so... Oh, I forgot the risk token. So I had 3 points of movement. Jen had 3 points of movement. It's a tie. It cancels itself out anyway. Alright, so that was good. I forgot to mention that, you know, canceled itself out. So, on to the cleanup. I get the first player token. We move the weather up. We got 3 risk tokens. We're good on that. So now we draw some cards. Okay, so here's what we got. Alright, so I'm up first. I'm going to play this. That's a given. I'll play it on this guy here. Now, I gotta get him down, and I'm gonna use the rope card. That'll get him 3 points. But here's the problem. I could play this other card, but that's almost a guarantee to get a risk token. Okay, so that's 3 points. If I play this, I could get him down here, and I would have enough here. But if I had to take a risk token, I won't have enough to get here. It'll knock one of them down to 2. I have 5 points of movement, so it's almost guaranteed I'm getting a risk token. So what I could do is just move them here, and then use the 1 point on the risk token on the movement. I don't want to use it on the acclimatization. Alright, I want to build up both of his acclimatization points. Alright, so he'll lose some acclimatization regardless of where he lands, but that's the plan. I'm going to take the hit on the acclimatization. I'm just going to move him to the peak, or off the peak, start working his way down the mountain. Okay, so over to Jen. Jen's going to hold on to this. So now Jen thinks she's been hanging back a while. She thinks it's time to get a push. She's going to play a lot of movement. She's going to play these 2 cards here. So that's 5. And that's enough to move both of her guys into a spot. She's pretty good on acclimatization there. So what she may do, she knows it's kind of high. She's going to play 1 more point of movement, and she's just going to take the risk token of 1 point. Alright, she knows that's kind of high. Okay, so she has 6 points. I have 5 points. She gains 1 point of risk. Okay, so now we go on to the movement, or the action phase. I keep calling it movement phase. I'm going to play this 2 points acclimatization on this guy, because he was close to dying, and he still may be close to dying. I got to get him down. I got to get him into that tent to give him some relief. So we got 3 points of movement. So what I'm going to do, first one I'm going to play on the rope card, move him down 3 points into that spot. Second one I'm going to play on this card, move him down 3 more points into that spot. That acclimatization card he just played pretty much canceled itself out, but it got me a lot closer to this tent, and that's good. So Jen's playing these. She's got that risk token worth 1 point. She's going to discard that and discard this card. She's going to use it on action. With her other 2 cards, she's going to move both guys. So what she's going to do, she's going to play a 3 on MC Hammer, move him here. She's going to play 2 on this guy here, move him here. That's the end of her movement. On the acclimatization, as you can see, both her guys lose a point. My one guy loses 2 points. This guy's good with the spaces they're on. There's no weather penalty, so she's good. We're all good there. So, MC Hammer Pants. Back down to 2. Awfully close to dying. Both the Jen's guys. Boom. Boom. Okay. Cleanup phase. On to the next day. I almost forgot again. Jen's guy gets moved up 1 point. Okay, Jen gets the first player marker. And reveal a 1 point risk token. On to the card reveal. Okay, so now Jen's up first. This is what she drew. What she's going to do here is, let's see here, she's going to hold on to this 3 points of acclimatization. Okay, because there's some bad weather above 8,000 meters and then 7,000 meters. She wants to hold on to that. There's a safety net. She's going to hold on to this one too. Okay, so she's going to play 3 movement cards, and I think what she's going to do is she's going to play. She doesn't want to use the rope cards. Remember, there's only 3 of these, I believe, in the game. In each deck. She wants to hold on to them, but she's got to use 1. So she'll use these. Okay, these 3, she's going to move both guys up 1 space on the board. Over to me. So now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Cost 3 to move Aztec guy up to where my other guy is, and I gotta get the other one down into that tent. Still gonna lose 1 point. Well, I could use the rope card. I'm thinking about that. I could use the rope card. Right, move them here. That's 2, 4, 5, 7. I gotta play 7 points of movement. I don't think I have that. No, I would only have 6. And I'd most likely take a penalty on the movement if I did that. So I don't want to do that. Oh, let me put him back where he was. I don't want to do that. I could just move down here, take a hit on the acclimatization, and hope I draw another acclimatization, which I think I may have to do. I gotta hope I draw another acclimatization card on the next round. Stop dropping cards on the board. But yeah, I think that's all I can do. I gotta hope I get some acclimatization. So I'm gonna play the rope card and get him down into this spot here. Okay, because it costs 2 to get him there. So I'm gonna play rope card, get MC Hammer down into here. Now I want to move this guy up. It costs 3 to get in there, but I'm worried about the risk token. So if I play these 2, it'll be 4. Now I could play these 2, and it'll be 4 points there. Plus this will be 5, and I'll just reduce one of them on the movement card. And I think that's what he's going to do. Now remember, normally I couldn't see Jen's cards, she couldn't see my cards. So it's a guessing game. Who has more risk point, or who has more movement points will get them a risk token. It's a guessing game. Okay, so that's what I'm going to play. I'm going to play 5 points of movement. Okay, as far as the risk tokens are concerned. 2, 4, and then 1 up is 5. So I have 5. Jen has 4. I get the risk token. So now I'm kicking myself in the ass. Because if I had played just that 1 movement point, I could have saved this 2 movement point for a later turn. We would have been tied. I wouldn't have to take a risk token. But I didn't know that. So, well, I did. But, you know, if I were playing normally, I wouldn't have known that. Okay, so that's that. We go to the movement, the action phase. Jen's up first. And like I said, she wants to get these guys up the mountain. So 2, 4, Jen's done. Okay, it goes over to me. I'm going to play the risk token on this card here. It'll knock it down to 1. Discard the risk token. It'll give the combined 3 points of movement on this card and 2 downward on this one. Okay, so now I kind of messed up there. I can only have 1 hiker in a spot at the end of their turn. So if this hiker moved here, at the end of his turn there will be 2 hikers in the same spot. I can't do that. I gotta move through them. So I kind of screwed up my strategy a little bit. Not a whole lot. What I want to do is, instead of moving them from here to here, and then moving this guy up here, which I can't do because of that, I'm going to go 2 down with this rope card, then 2 more down with this card, and then remember I had to subtract 1 point for the penalty of the risk token. I move here, okay, and that'll get me closer to where I want to be, okay, the next few rounds. So that's the end of my movement. I switched it up a little bit, but I think it worked out. Okay, so now I move on to the acclimatization phase, the adjustment phase, and here we go. Both the Jen's guys are on a spot that loses 1 point of acclimatization. I'm on a spot that loses 1 point of acclimatization with MC Hammer here. Aztec guy, he's on a spot, but he's got the tent. So my MC Hammer guy is very close to dying. Very, very close. Alright, luckily, tomorrow's forecast is snow above 8,000 meters. The next day is from 7,000 meters to the peak. So he's well below that. The final day is clear. So all I got to do is move him down 1 more spot. I got to move him from here to here, and then he can sit there the rest of the game, and he's good. So that's what I'm going to focus on next turn. And then I got to worry about my other guy's acclimatization. Alright, so now both the Jen's guys loses 1 point of acclimatization. None to the weather. There's no tents on her spot. So now, move on to the next day, which is the trigger of the final 3 days of the game. I get the first player marker. We flip over risk token, and it's another 1. I've been getting pretty lucky with the risk token. Okay, so we move on, and we draw some cards. Okay, so here we go. I drew this. We've got 2 points acclimatization and a bunch of movement. Bunch of low movement cards. Jen has a total of 6 acclimatization, and then, you know, a little bit of movement, not a whole lot. So what Jen is going to play, well, let's go with me first. First of all, I am going to play this down card here. I got to get my guy down away from the acclimatization penalty. Okay, so with my other guy, I don't have enough to move him up the mountain. Because this next spot here is worth 3 points of movement. I don't have enough there to play it. I have to play 3 cards on it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play 1 acclimatization point on him and move him up a little bit to get him up to 6, and then I will play 1 more card on MC Hammer pins. Okay, So, can I do that? I want to move them 3 and down 1. I don't think I can combine it like that though, because, well, yeah, I guess I can. He's going to move down, so I guess I can. 4 points of downward movement between the 2 cards. The 2 cards, yeah. All right, so over to Jen. Jen is going to. She's going to go for the mountaintop. Okay, she's going to play this 2-point acclimatization. And then she's going to save this road card, which has 2 points going up the mountain. She's going to save that to try and get above the peak. Or above the 8,000 meter. So she's going to play these 2 movement cards. And she's going to move this guy from here to here. Okay? And then she's probably going to play 2 points acclimatization on him. Because he's getting closer to peak. He'll start losing more acclimatization than this guy. Okay, so that's what Jen's going to do. Alright, so we go on to the action phase. Now, being that I know I'm going to get MC Hammer guy down below where he won't lose any acclimatization, I'm just going to leave him at 1. This guy here is going to go here. Okay, on my Aztec guy. Alright. 4 points of downward movement. 2, 4. Okay, I got him down. He's out of harm's way as far as the acclimatization is concerned. Okay, so that's the end of my movement. Now Jen is going to play 2 points on this guy. He's closer to the peak. He's going to take more hits. Okay, 2 points here. Just going to move him up here. Now we move up his marker. And I forgot to move Jen's other marker up to 5 points. I always forget the markers. I also forgot to say who gets a risk token. Neither one of us do. We only had 2 points of movement. It canceled itself out. Alright. So that's the end of that. We move on to the acclimatization phase. My guy here is good. This guy here is good. He's in the tent. Both the Jen's guys lose 1 point. Okay. They're both in a spot with a penalty for the acclimatization. So now, cleanup phase. Now between 7,000 meters and the peak, there's a blizzard. Somebody's going to lose 2 points of acclimatization if they're in that range. We're good on the tokens. Risk tokens. Jen gets the first player. We start drawing some cards. Okay, so here's what I got. Here's what Jen has. We'll do Jen first. Jen, she's going to take 2 points of acclimatization loss due to the weather on both the guys. They're both above 7,000 meters. So if they stay where they're at right now, they both lose 3 points of acclimatization. Okay. Jen plans to go up above the 8,000 meter. So one of our guys is going to lose 4 points. But here's the deal. Right now, her MC Hammer Pants is in a bad situation. If he takes 3 points of damage due to the weather and the spot he's on, he's going to die. So, she's going to boost him up, give him 3 points of acclimatization. Our other guy, she's going to give 1 point of acclimatization. Okay, so she'll only take a 2 point hit, which will bring her down to 3. And she's actually thinking about going up to the next level. But if she does that, it'll hit her with 4 points. So she's not going to do that right now. What she's going to do is she's going to wait till the next round. She's going to play this on it, move him up. But right now she's just going to play 2 points on Aztec guy, move him up 1 space. Okay, so that's Jen's plan. My plan, I'm going to forget about this guy. I'm going to forget that he exists. He did his job. Alright, going to play this, definitely get rid of it. So now, I'm going to take 4 points of hit due to the weather. So I might as well move them up. I'm going to play this and then this. I'll move them up one spot. Okay, this will take care of one of the hits on the acclimatization. I'm on the fence about the 3. I think it's kind of low. You know, but I want to move them, so it doesn't matter. I want to move them this round with this 3, next round with this 3. If I have to, I'll take a hit on the acclimatization. Okay, tomorrow's the last day, so it's all for nothing. All or nothing, okay? So there, boom. I have 3, Jen has 2. I take 1 point of risk. And, you know, I'm going to spend it. 1 point of acclimatization. Well, I'll get to that when it's my turn. Okay, it's Jen's turn. So like I said, this guy, he's going to die unless I move him up. So 1, 2, 3. Just going to move the other up 1. And then that leaves her with 2 points of movement. With her 2 points of movement, he goes 1, 2. Remember, we're going to move his up on the track. Boom. That's the end of Jen's movement. Comes over to me. Like I said, I was going to play on the track. I'll just play it on this. Okay. Pulls that out. The track doesn't move. The 0 equals nothing. 3 points of movement. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's the end of my turn. Alright. So now I move my guy up. Boom. Okay. Move on the acclimatization phase. Jen loses 1 for both her guys because of the spot they're on. I lose 2 because of the spot I'm on. Plus the weather, which is 2. So MC Hammer loses 4 points. Brings them down to 2. And then Jen, both of her guys, loses 3 points. So it brings them down to 3. It's the end of the acclimatization adjustment phase. We move on to the cleanup. Draw a risk token, 0. Move this up. Boom. I get the first player marker. This is what we have left. This is what I have left. So I got 3 points here. I can move up to the top, or the next level. I can move up above 8,000 meters. It would kill me. Even though there's no weather, it's 2 point acclimatization. That would kill me. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to play all 3 cards. I'm going to use the movement. I'm going to move them down into the tent. That'll even it out. Okay, so it's Jen's turn to decide. And she's in the same boat I am. Well, no, she can move up. So it'll bring her down 2. That'll leave her with 1 point. If she moves, as that guy up here, it'll give her 2 point penalty in acclimatization for the spot. She'll move down to 1. He'll live. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to move him up. So she's going to spend all 3 cards on him. Alright. She's going to move him up 3. She's anticipating the risk token. It's a 0. But there's nothing she can really do with the other card. So that's what she's going to do. Play all 3. And she's just going to try and see if she can get more points. She doesn't know what I'm going to do. You know, so she still thinks I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to run out of acclimatization. We'll see. Okay, so on to that. We do the risk. Jen has 4. I have 3. Jen gets the risk token. Naturally, she chooses the 0. We go on to the movement. 3 points. 1, 2. And I'm just going to ignore the last one. Alright. That's the end of my movement. Jen discards this. Okay, so now she's going to play these 3. She's going to move this guy up here. 1, 2, and then boom, 7 points. Was MC Hammer Pants that high? I'll check the footage to see who won. I don't remember if MC Hammer made it up to 5. But anyway, this one, well, she could just say, you know, that's enough. She could not do anything, or you know what, she might as well. She'll go down. 1, 2, doesn't really matter. It's the end of that. Acclimatization phase. My guy's on a spot with a tent and a penalty for the acclimatization on the spot, so nulls itself out. He doesn't lose anything. My other guy's way down here. You can't see him. He's on a spot that doesn't affect him. Let me zoom out. Or, you know, I could go out like I was playing. There we go. He's on a spot. There's no points lost or gained. He's good. Jen loses 1 point with this guy, 2 points with Aztec guy. So that's what we're going to do. 2 points with Aztec guy brings her right down to 1. 1 point with him. And then my Aztec guy would lose 1, but because of tent, he would gain it back. He's good. So that's the end of the game. Looks like I won. Like I said, I don't remember if Jen's guy made it that far up and then went back down, or if I bumped him up accidentally. Either way, it doesn't matter. I have a total of 16 points. Jen has a total of either 13 or 12 points. So I won K2, surprisingly. So I'll do the final thoughts next. Stick around for that. See if you like it or not. Well, what I have to say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Alright folks, how you doing? Barry Rounds here. Hope you had a good holiday. This was K2. K2 it's a unique game. It's probably one of the most unique games I've ever played. It's a great gateway game into Euro games, I think. But it's more than that. It's easy to pick up and it's easy to play, but it's tough to master. So while it is a great gateway game in the Euros, it's also a little meatier than that, you know? If you use the different varieties of difficulty and all that, you know? And you can mix and match that difficulties with, you know, you can play the winter weather tiles with the easier board or vice versa. You know, you can play the family variant if you want to. Stuff like that. So that makes it unique. Just how vast the level of difficulties can be, and how much that change in the level of difficulties changes the game from just a regular gateway game into something a little more meatier, like a midway game, you know. But it still could be played in, you know, an hour and a half or something less than that. You know, depending on who you're playing with, stuff like that. As far as the game goes, Jen doesn't like this one that much. We haven't really talked too much about it. We've only played it together a couple times. I played it a lot solo to get the rules down. But, and I haven't played it with more than 2 people. I wanted to with my sister last week, but we ended up playing Eldritch Horror, sorry. And it took 4 hours, and we didn't play anything else that day. So I actually did want to try this with 3 players, which I do try to do with all the games I do a run through of. Just didn't happen. So Jen doesn't like it. I think of it as too much of a brain burn for her. You know, well, maybe not. She does get in the little heavier games like Castle of Burgundy. She seems to like that. We've been playing that quite a bit. But yeah, for some reason she just didn't like this one as much. But that being said, the components are great. Got a train going by. Alright, the components are great. The game, like I said, it is easy to teach, it is easy to learn, it's easy to pick up, but it's very hard to master. There's a lot of thinking, and there's a lot of brutal consequences to your actions if you don't think ahead. This run through, it's actually the second one I did. I ran into some audio problems with the first one, but this is the only game I played where I didn't kill one hiker. So I don't know if I messed up in this or not, but like I said, it's the only game I played where at least one hiker didn't die. So maybe I'm just getting better at the game. I don't know. But anyway, and that's what you got to think about. It's, do you let the guy who's closer to the top hang out there and let him kill himself because eventually they're going to run out of acclimatization? Or, do you hang back like Jen did? Do you rush for the top like I did? Do you find some middle ground there? You got the weather always changing and stuff like that. It's a lot to think about. Like I said, it can be a little more than a gateway game. It could be a lot more than a gateway game. So, but it's a unique game. It's very thematic, I think. The guy who designed this is a, I'm not sure if he's an amateur mountain climber, but he does climb mountains. I'm not sure if he's a little more than amateur or he's just amateur, but he does climb mountains. So it would make sense that it's a little thematic, but it is. You have the acclimatization tokens representing you adjusting to the altitude, and then when you're up higher, you suffering from not only the height effects, but also like the cold and all that, stuff like that with the weather tiles, as well as with the winter tiles, weather tiles. You lose footing, so you lose points with the movement on some of the weather tiles, or it's a little bit of both. You lose a point with the movement and a point in the acclimatization. And I guess that would represent it being, you're very high up and it's steep. You're losing footing due to snow or fog or whatever. So yeah, like I said, you can see that it is thematic. In the beginning you're gaining acclimatization as you're adjusting to the altitude, and then you're losing it the further up you get. It gets tougher to move. You got to spend more movement points the further up you get. Which represents, like I said, the mountains getting more treacherous, the paths getting narrow, stuff like that. I can see. I never climbed a mountain. I mean, look at me, but I have hiked part of the Appalachian Trail, though. And I can tell you, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. I did a bit from Georgia up, but it's not fun. Well, for me, some people might be. So, yeah, there's not. What's bad about it? Like I said, with Jen, it's not for her, and it may not be for some people. Especially people who are more casual gamers. I don't think this would be for them. It's a lot more thinkier than most gateway games are. The replayability. I've played this, I'm going to say 7 times, maybe 8, maybe 6, around 7. I've played it once with the hard side and the weather tiles, and that was brutal. And I played it once with the harder side with the summer tiles, which wasn't as brutal, but it was still tough. The tougher side's a little, takes longer to get up the mountain, so there's stuff that's going to affect you with that. But yeah, it's not quite a gateway game. It is a gateway game, but it can be more than that. So it's very interesting, and if you're a very casual gamer, I don't think this would be for you. But if you are, a gamer who's just getting into the hobby or has been in the hobby for a while and you're looking for a next step up from a gateway game, I think this would be for you. It's kind of the best of both worlds in a Euro game. It's easy to learn. It's a little tougher. It's a lot thinkier than it appears, but it doesn't bog you down for, I played through the ages, took me 4 hours for one age. I'm averaging it like 2.5 hours for one age. So it's not like that, where you're going to play that long. But it does give you a sense of fulfillment. So yeah, what do I got to say bad about it? I already did. If you're not looking for a brain burner, this probably ain't for you. If you're not looking for something where you got to think real far in advance, this isn't for you. As far as the game itself, though, I don't see too much that's bad with it. The replayability, like I said, I don't know. I haven't played it enough to really know. I guess after a while you could get bored of it. Depends on the person. And I think that's with all replayability. There is an expansion for this. I haven't played it. I don't really even know much about it. So with the expansions, I don't buy them all. I tend to play the game, and then when I think it's starting to lose some of its appeal, I'll buy an expansion and I'll add something to it, hopefully. But some of them are made to fix mistakes, but that's how I feel about expansions. But that's pretty much all I had to say. This one's late. I ran it. We've been having some really weird weather here on the East Coast of the United States. And the first time I filmed this, it was really cold out. It was like 3 degrees. And I know some of you guys up in Canada saying, that's nothing. But for us, it's a little cold. So I have an electric heater in here. This room's not insulated. So I have a little electric heater, baseboard heater here. And it was on high, and it was giving me a whine, and it was real windy out. So it made quite a bit of noise. And I know the heater was whining. I thought I could cut that out in the post-production, I guess you would call it, whatever, post-filming. I couldn't get it out. I don't know if it was that or that and a combination of wind. I could not get it out. So I did the whole run-through. I did the components and the whole game before I went back to look at it, which taught me a lesson. So I just redid it. The components are already up. This will be up as soon as I edit it and put it up. So within the next... Today is the 14th. Within the next 2 days, this should be up. Like I said, all I got to do is edit the run-through. That doesn't take up too much room, too much time. The components usually take up a good bit of time with the editing. So that was K2. I'd like to thank my Secret Santa for it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.